name is Dr. Keon N. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing in South Georgia. And so, as Dwayne mentioned, the rumors are true. There is a new school that is coming to Valdosta, Georgia, the Lowndes County area, and we are focused on rigorous academics, character formation, and service learning. And so part of the reason, well, I'll start with talking a little bit about myself, and then I'll pull up some slides, but a little bit about myself. Before I got into the academy or academics or anything, I initially was a film consultant for Netflix, HBO, and Disney. And so if there's any P-Valley watchers on the call, if there's any folks who like to stream, I worked 6 months in film following my graduation from Morehouse College, just to learn more about storytelling and how storytelling can be used to impact communities and to tell the lived experiences of communities. And while I was working in a film set, I realized very quickly that I wasn't serving my purpose. And I knew that my purpose was always to be in education. And so, following my time in film, I applied for some jobs. I worked for the Urban League of Greater Atlanta for 9 months before getting promoted to the State Director of Parent Services at Quality Care for Children. And so, during my time, I was able to oversee the statewide call center to get parents access to CAPS, right, which is very important for preschool. I'm not sure how many people are on the call and have a young child, but CAPS, WICs, food stamps, everything you can imagine, basically overseeing and supporting that process. In 1 year, we were able to raise over $7 million. And my most notable and proud accomplishment is during my time in my role, some of the biggest impact that I had specifically was in the South Georgia region. And so, as the former state director of parent services, I spent a lot of intentional time making sure that children ages 0 to 5 received a high quality education, but more importantly, that they had the money and the resources to do so, particularly for student parents and low income parents. And so, um, I got together with a few community leaders in Valdosta, and over the years, or over about a year and a half to 2 year span, spent a lot of time in the community realizing its potential and its promise. And as I transitioned from the state director of parent services role, I realized that South Georgia was a space that a lot of people wanted to fund, an area where a lot of people wanted connection and had a buy-in. And so it immediately made me think about how I could situate myself as a catalyst of change to make impact in that community. Given that I got married this past year to my wife, who's a native of the Valdosta area, and I'm connected to many people in your community, Ronnie Mathis, amongst many others in the space. And so I want to talk to you guys just a little bit today about our school, what we're coming to plan and do, and then also what you guys want to see in a school, right? Which is the most important piece of this. And we also have a town hall meeting that's going to be coming up right in Valdosta at the Southside Library on the 27th. And so we would love to see you there. There'll be refreshments and giveaways and things. But we would love to see you there just to learn more about the community and more about what you guys would want to see out of a school. But before I get started, the first question I want to ask is, and you can feel free to come off mute or to put it in the chat, is what makes a great school? And you all just talk back to me. I'm a preacher and a professor at Morehouse, and so I like to make things a little bit conversational. But if you will, just put in the chat or come off of mute and tell me what makes a great school. What makes a great school?
Hello, Dr. Berry. This is Christina. What makes a great school to me is when we have culturally relevant, like culturally competent teaching, and where we have representation of the staff for our students, where it reflects our who we're educating. That's what makes a great school. And then also parents who are involved in their child's education.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm looking down because I'm taking notes as folks are speaking. And so I heard culturally responsive pedagogy and teaching, as well as parent and community engagement. Someone else, what makes a great school? I see community customer service is a must. Absolutely, Alicia. Thank you so much for sharing that. It is certainly a must. And I think sometimes schools forget that parents and families are the clients. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alicia. I'll take one more. I'll take one more. What makes a great school? Feel free to come off mute or feel free to put it in the chat. Ooh, clear, concise language and interactive opportunities for students and parents. I see hearts of leaders, absolutely, Laverne. And then parent engagement, meeting the needs of the whole child. Okay, absolutely. So it looks like we're ready for our discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, y'all. And let's see. Okay, here it is, guys. So I want to share a little bit with you today about Prestige Preparatory School. Again, my name is Dr. Keon N. I'm the headmaster and founder of our school that we're bringing to Valdosta, the Lowndes County area. And this school is so important and so relevant given the challenges, but most importantly, the opportunities of the region in terms of how we prepare our youth, how we support our families, and how we come together as a community to make sure that we are empowering and uplifting the next generation. And so, Prestige Preparatory School is a K-12 school, a tuition-free charter school that's coming to the area. Through rigorous academics, workforce development and training, and character formation, Prestige Preparatory School equips socially responsive servant leaders to thrive in college, career, and life, rising to meet the needs of our time. And so we're really focused on three main areas: rigorous academics, workforce development and training, and character formation. Guys, all of this that we've come up with the school comes from feedback from the community. We've talked to parents all across the city and all across the county who are saying, we're concerned about the academics. The district's report card this past year scored them at a D minus as it relates to CCRPI scores and the governor's assessment of the education system. This was for Valdosta City Schools, right? And so rigorous academics makes a great school. Workforce development and training. A lot of you on this call and a lot of students are asking the question of when will I ever use this? What is the significance for me? How do we think? How do we connect this to make prepared citizens who are ready for the workforce? This research says this generation of students is less confident about the workforce than ever before in history. This came out of Business Insider, right? And so when we think about what makes a great school, tying direct experiences, businesses, and organizations to partner with our school who are passionate about serving the youth, who are passionate about our mission, who are passionate about providing services for families is going to be integral in our model as we make sure that we prepare future students. Okay, and the last thing is character formation, y'all. This piece is so essential. And the reason why is because I've spent a lot of time in Valdosta over the past 3 months, and I want to just say to you and submit this to you all that there's power in unity. The Southern Georgia Black Chambers is a perfect example of what happens when we come together as a community and we partner and we link up arm in arm and we demonstrate positive characteristics of a role model, but most importantly, what happens when we build a strong ecosystem. And I believe that the people united can never be defeated. And so we're going to make sure that we really focus on forming the character and the identity of students through ethical character education programming. Okay. Our vision is to establish a generation of professional, purposeful, and prepared citizens who embody community consciousness, who confront injustice, who pursue truth, and who advance positive social change. So many people are probably like, where are you guys going to put the school at? Our school was selected by the state of Georgia's Charter School Incubator Fellowship. It's highly competitive. They have about 150 applicants or more, and only 12 are selected. And so Valdosta this past year was listed as a priority zone for a new school. And so we are so humbled that we were selected for this opportunity to be able to come in to partner with the local district, to partner with businesses, to bring something that is really special to this community that students genuinely need. Right. But most importantly, to make sure that we are championing academic rigor and championing test scores. Okay. I'm going to move along here. So some of our core values, and I saw Laverne talk about the heart of leaders, right? And this is really important for us. And we've been very intentional about who we've partnered with. Again, we're so grateful to, receive the support of, President Johnson and the Southern Georgia Business Chamber. Black chambers, excuse me. But our core values guide all of our work, guys. Look, our first core value is lead with respect, right? So we're teaching children and we're teaching families and we're abiding by this principle that we treat every person with dignity, empathy, and compassion and unconditional positive regard. Okay, our second value, believe with faith. We firmly believe in our promise, our purpose, our promise, and our potential with complete confidence that hope is never lost. So instilling faith and hope in our young people. Next value, respond with integrity. We choose what's right, even when it's uncommon, unpopular, unseen, or unacknowledged. We're teaching young people to act with responsibility. We hold ourselves to the highest standards, fully accountable, for our choices, our actions, and their outcomes. Accountability and responsibility is key. And then last thing, rise with resilience. We expect adversity, but we embrace it as the training ground to achieve distinction. And for us, that's what rigorous academics is all about, making sure that we build the resilience and the fortitude of our students, ensuring that they have grit and grace to excel in life. So it talks about our philosophy in terms of how we develop a strong school environment. We do that through education, expectations, exposure, environment, engagement, empowerment, and excellence. Okay. Talking a little bit about our academic approach, and guys, one thing I want to just share with you is this model is ever evolving. Okay. This is just a white sheet of paper. Through our town hall meeting on the 27th, a lot of the things in here will be changed based off what parents and community leaders say. Okay, so we are championing what the community wants for this community-based, community-led school, right? And so what we've currently put together are things that parents have told us, but we imagine that as we get more buy-in and more feedback, that we can make something that's even better and even more monumental that genuinely reaches families. So our approach is a career technical education approach. And I'll talk a little bit about what we have on the right here. But we want to provide direct experiences for students to partner with businesses and for businesses to partner with us. And that's a key part of our model. We'll need vendors. Okay, we'll need workshops. We'll need professional development. And I believe that the talent for those opportunities are right here in this room. Okay, project-based learning. Some students get overwhelmed with assessment, and so we don't want to overwhelm our students. Part of the issue is that we need to give more real-world scenarios that require them to think critically, to collaborate, and to problem solve real-life issues. Okay, so we're focused on project-based learning. We're also focused on social-emotional learning. Y'all, emotional intelligence is so pivotal these days. Okay, we want students to have self-awareness. We want them to practice healthy communication. These skills of resilience and empathy are needed to thrive in school and in their careers, and not just those things, but throughout life. Okay, that's that character education piece. Experiential learning. Okay, with our experiential learning, we plan to take a very applied approach. We want to partner directly with businesses. And this is the great thing about a charter school. All the teachers can get away. Our teachers will be very non-traditional in terms of who our instructors may look like. You know, I'm a firm believer that every teacher doesn't necessarily need a teacher license, right? But within the charter school framework, it allows us to invite people in who have experiences and skills that are transferable that will directly impact our youth. Okay, gender-based instruction is something that we want your feedback on. It's something that we're thinking about, right? The research is clear that gender-based instruction can help increase focus and student achievement. But it also creates a unique learning environment that eliminates distractions and allows students to really lock in on what it is that we're trying to teach. Okay, service learning, right? There's a statistic that the state shared with me and through the incubator fellowship, where a lot of people who grow up in Valdosta tend to stay there and become catalysts of change in their communities. And so we want to champion that tradition of excellence by making sure that we prioritize service learning. Y'all, for us, this looks like having students lead community service projects, having them do that on a frequent basis, having them volunteer, having them get involved. Research tells us that before a child turns 5, 90% of their brain is hardwired. And so we are dedicated to making sure that we give them the best possible start. And then lastly, character education. It's so important with today's climate and all the different things that are happening to ensure that we cultivate virtue formation and moral behavior because you can never overlook ethical reasoning. I'm actually a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania, and we say laws without morals is useless. And that's just the reality. We want to make sure that we engage and we encourage respectful dialogue and civil discourse around complex issues and appreciating different perspectives. Okay, so y'all, I want to move on. I hope that you're enjoying this conversation that we're having here as much as I am. I want to talk a little bit about some of the careers that we're looking to prepare students in. And I hope some of this rings a bell for some of you guys, right? We believe that our students can be anything. And so some students may choose to take the politician or elected official route, right? There's 6 different pathways that we focus on. Some students may decide early on, hey, I know I want to be a doula. I know I want to be a nurse practitioner, right? These are very non-traditional experiences that students wouldn't get otherwise. This is a unique offering, something different that our community that our school is bringing to the community that's going to provide students hands-on exposure. A student may be in middle school and say, I know I want to be a faith leader, or I know I want to be a licensed counselor, right? And so we want to provide hands-on experience in those areas and exposure. We have students who don't even know they want to work in HR, who don't know they want to work in accountants. We want our school to bring real life preparation and exposure to what the world is actually like so that students can get started early. Just like Cassandra said, Miss Nelson, we want students to get started early, right? And so we know that this exposure to all these different career fields will bring a lot of value. There's no school right now in Georgia that is helping students to maybe think about being a mortician, but it's an extremely lucrative industry. So we tried to really lock in on research using the governor's report card that was sent to us through the incubator, as well as other resources, feedback from parents and other things to decide what careers will be helpful. I think one model that makes our school really unique is integrated AI teaching and learning. Okay, what does that look like? Using AI to help students learn, but most importantly, using AI to help to help teachers to become better at their craft. One thing I want to announce is we're bringing a lot of big partners to the table. We know that literacy is huge in Valdosta, so we met with Scholastic last week. How many of y'all are familiar with the Scholastic Book Fair? Just let me know in the chat or sure, Christine, absolutely. I can send you that report. But we're going to be partnering with Scholastic to bring books to our school. Scholastic said, we love this model. We want to bring books to your school. How many of you guys have heard of Khan Academy? How many of you guys are familiar with Khan Academy? Thank you, Laverne, for that feedback. I see it. All right, Khan Academy. We're in conversation with President Sal Khan and the Khan Schools Network to bring mastery-based learning to Valdosta. We are very intentional about the fact of making sure that students master the topic. We're big on comprehensive based learning, proficiency based learning, right? Our guarantee is that we will come in and raise student achievement, right? By leaning into our community partners and leaning into partners who truly believe in the work that we're doing. So those are just examples of a few organizations that believe in us, that want to work with us to make sure that students in Valdosta get the best quality education possible and that every student, no matter where you are in this great state, can get a great high quality education. And yes, we do need to get students back reading. I see people talking about Scholastic losing the focus on kids. Hey, look, they're saying we want to come in, we want to provide books, we want to get kids home libraries, and so we anticipate as we continue to have conversations that will be a long-standing partnership. Okay, thank you. That will be a long-standing partnership where we can really connect with individuals and tap in with them about the great things that we have to offer. Moving along, looking at core academic offerings. So there are some things that are requirements for our school that make us very unique. Obviously, language, math, science, and social studies, right? Social studies is not required until middle school, but we're going to start our young people in elementary off with social studies as well because it's so important. But technology literacy, students need to know how to use Google Suite. Okay, that's a crucial hard skill, excuse me. Students need to learn how to use Microsoft Suite. We want them proficient in this before they graduate. Okay. Before eighth grade, they need to be proficient in this. Okay. Another thing is penmanship and cursive, guys. This was required by the governor, but this is something that's so important. Handwriting is important. I know typing has become, has take over, but handwriting is just as important. Some kids don't know how to sign their name, and that's required for a credit card. Right? When we talk about ownership, you cannot print your name on the line. You must sign. And so bringing that culture of excellence back. I know this next slide is going to really excite people. Our unique academic offerings. Guys, I mean, I'm Gen Z, but I'm a little old school. We're going to bring back home, family, and consumer science. Students do need to learn how to do laundry and iron and have some of those home skills so they can help their parents around the house. We are bringing that back. We're bringing financial literacy into the school. I heard President Johnson say, I want kids to know about ownership and they need to know about it as young as possible. So we're going to be, bringing financial literacy courses that the students are required to take, as they seek to graduate. We're going to bring public speaking and professional communication so that students know how to communicate, right? And how to have that courage and confidence. We're bringing multicultural studies and philosophical ethics, right? We're using the social sciences as a tool to push our young people into critical thinking that really allows them to think more about how they can be positive catalysts of change in their community, right? Even when we talk about Latin, most students who are low income or who are minorities don't have exposure to Latin. Latin is so important because it is the building blocks of language. And students who take Latin tend to perform better on standardized tests. And so I believe that we're positioning our young people for success at a young age. And that is what we are aspiring to do in this endeavor and what we have going on. And so, guys, I want to just share this last quote with you. And like I said, I'm a college professor at Morehouse. I also teach for the Georgia Department of Corrections in prison. Yes, I give my life for this work. Every week that I go in, I get a locator, right? Because I might not make it out. And so when people talk about the dedication and the fervor I have for my community, it's ever present as I literally give my life to teach people who might have life in prison, right? And ensure that they get a good quality education. But here's the quote. It says, it is the preparedness for education and the safe, inclusive, and equitable environment filled with belonging to learn and achieve, which results in a quality education. And so for those of you who are in Valdosta, who are in the Lowndes County area, who might be a Wildcat or might be a Viking, it's not our wish to break up the Winterville Classic, okay? It's a long-standing tradition that we all love, right? It's not our desire to point the finger at who's not doing what, and that's not our desire. Our desire is to come in and to bring another high-quality school choice to this community, one that is filled with inclusivity, equity, and love, where students see themselves in the community, in the literature, in the staff, in every facet of our endeavor, to be intentional about what students deserve. That is our desire, and that is what we plan to do. I'm going to stop there, and I want to share this flyer with you all. It has a QR code on it. And this is the information for our first town hall that is coming up on the 27th of September. Okay. And it's going to be at the Southside Library. Okay. From 11 to 1. Again, we'll have some giveaways. We'll have some refreshments there. You'll be able to meet the board of directors. And I will say we have a tremendous board of directors, starting with Dr. Sheila, who's absolutely amazing, doing some incredible work. She's one of our board members who's tremendously helped us and partnered with us to bring this to life. We also have some other board members. Dr. Ronnie Mathis is on our board, as well as a few others. Wellstar Hospital is represented, on our board. Quality Care for Children is represented on our board, as well as many other companies and organizations. And Dr. Sheila will tell you that they are some incredible people who are very passionate about this work. But we want to see you there at the informational. And the reason why is whatever the community wants, that's exactly what we're going to do. Because we believe in transparency, but most importantly, we believe in servant leadership. And that means leading from behind. It means listening to what people are saying. It means listening to what people are saying. It means listening again until you completely understand what the community needs. But we want to see you there because we want to hear what you have to say, what you believe that the community deserves. For those of you who are not in Valdosta, We are also applying to be a state charter, which means that we can take students from the local counties as well. And we will do that. If we have Quitman, Georgia in the house, if we have Moultrie, any jurisdictions that may say, hey, no, look, we want to be a part of this. I was in Valdosta a month ago at the Raising Brilliant Black Boys groundbreaking, and a council member from Tifton came up to me after and said, we want to learn more about your school. Okay, we want to know how we can partner, how we can be involved. And so if that is you, if you're like, hey, look, I love what you guys have going on. I love what I heard. I want to come here more. In a few Saturdays, we'll be right in your community, our entire board, our entire team, to tell you more about what it is that we're doing. We're so grateful to be in the state program, and we're partnering with FRC to find us a location. We're raising millions and thousands of dollars to get this work done. Again, I shared a little bit about my fundraising background and my fundraising experience. I believe that that's one of our strengths, but we know that our greatest strength lies with our community. It lies with each of you who are on this call. It lies with each of you who believes that children are the future and who are dedicated to making sure that they are prepared for tomorrow. And so, with that, I want to just share a few points that I have. And then I want to open up the floor for questions if that's okay. Okay. So again, we're tuition free, right? So it's free 99 to come, okay, which is really important. And we are focused on high quality academics, right? Athletics is really important for us, and we're a K-8, and we will have sports at a certain point in time, but academics is the priority, okay? The curriculum is designed for the whole child, right? We're focused on innovative teaching and learning, and this is a school choice for students this is a school choice for students who feel like they need another option, right? Not every child thrives in the traditional school setting. And so we want to make sure that we have alternatives, right? That best match the talents and curiosity and the potential of these students. I'm an Ivy League school graduate. I attended the University of Pennsylvania. I attended Morehouse as well, and I also have my doctorate in educational leadership. I believe that these students can do anything that they put their mind to. And during my time as State Director of Parent Services, we were able to increase our reach by 222% in that region. 222% in the Lowndes County region, we were able to increase our impact, right? And a lot of folks say, hey, what happened to the funding? But I'm no longer in that seat, y'all. So that's a conversation for a different time. Some common misconceptions about charter school, and I just want to clear this up, in case we have any questions. We are not a private school. We are a tuition-free public school, right? Which means we have the same state standards and requirements as any other public school, except for we get jurisdiction over certain things such as our staffing, our curriculum, and other things. The curriculum piece is important, right? We want to be able to choose. The next thing is we do not take funding away from traditional public schools. Let me be crystal clear here. SB 82 was passed under the Gold Dome in Georgia, which said if a charter school is approved, then the local district would receive $250,000. So we don't take money away from traditional public schools. In fact, there's an incentive for us getting approved. And furthermore, we get less funding as a charter school. Okay. The next thing I want to share is a common misconception is, we only select the best students. That's false. We don't get to handpick who comes, who is admitted into the school. In fact, we are enrollment by lottery. Okay. We are enrollment by lottery. Okay. At this time, I just want to pause and answer any questions that folks may have for me. Feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to come off mute. I know that was a mouthful, but guys, thank you so much for your time. We're super excited about, what we're getting ready to do down in Valdosta, and so excited to hear from all of you about what you would want to see and how we can partner with your businesses. If you're a vendor, if you're you do professional development, if you sell toilet paper, whatever it is, we want to partner with you and pour back into this community and make sure that we are a part of this ecosystem and doing everything that we can to be helpful and supportive partners. And so I'll pause and wait for any questions. I did see one in the chat, and someone said, have you implemented services for students with IEP and 504 plans? What would those programs look like? Alicia, that's a great question. Thank you for sharing that. So one of the biggest things that we've noticed in our time is that there was a lot of pending litigation in matters as it pertains with the local school districts with the violation of special education. We will have a dedicated person who only focuses on special education to make sure that we are properly implementing 504 and IEP plans. Just to give you some context, I actually have ADHD, and so I had a 504 and IEP plan. So the person who will be supervising and monitoring that stuff is someone who actually was a product of IEP or 504 plan. The funny part about me was I didn't even know I had a learning disability until I was in my doctoral program. And I thought I just couldn't focus, right? And then I actually learned that I had a learning disability, right? And so we will make sure that we prioritize that and that students get what they need. I also am a professor at Morehouse, like I said, and so I'm very focused on making sure that students have extra time, that they have accommodations. Another way that we prepare to approach that is through instructional leads who are not the teacher, right? So we have our teachers, but then we have our instructional leads who make sure that they are supporting the teacher, right, through professional development and coaching, right, but also through pushing in and pulling out of the classroom to make sure that students who need it are getting that support, which is really important for us. Okay. I see Dr. Alderman said excellent alternative options for schools must be integrated on the front end. That is correct. And Dr. Alderman, we would love to support with our effort, with your efforts and your knowledge and expertise. I'm going to go ahead and drop my information in the chat. So you all can contact us directly. I work at Morehouse as a professor, but I lecture for about an hour a day. I work on this full time. And so you guys are like, hey, Dr. Bear, I need to hop on a call. I need to talk with you. I need to learn more. How can we partner? How can we? I would, love to do that. Any other questions that folks have for me? Any thoughts that anyone wants to share?
Hey, this is Christina. I think I'm thinking about funding. Is there any are there any opportunities for fundraising or where people can donate or whatever to just to give a jump start or things like that?
Absolutely. Yes, there are. Right now, we're literally building the entire school from scratch. So needs a bank account, like literally, it's right. It's a baby. You got to create it, right? And so every single thing we're doing right now, we're in the process of getting the bank account set up. We're going to be with South State Bank, and so once we have it up, as well as our website, we are going to. I can send that information over to you. Part of the delay was the incubator program was truly an accelerator, right? It was extremely competitive. We applied for it back in March. We didn't hear back until August, right? And so it was a very competitive interview process. And so things have just kind of shifted so quickly and so fast since we started the incubator. And so that is why some people are like, we haven't seen a website. We haven't, but we do have digital materials and content that we can send directly to you if you are someone who's interested and wants to learn more. But we would love to see you guys at the informational session, the town hall, say you could meet me, say you can meet our team, so you can see the people that are coming in, right? Laverne talked about the heart of leaders, right? And so I'm really big on making sure that authenticity and transparency lead, right? But most importantly, that we lead our children in the right direction. This is so important, right? And we do that again by being intentional and by making sure that we're really focusing on key partnerships in the community and feedback from the community about what makes this actually work and what makes this unique and special. Okay. Any other things? Christina, thank you so much. Okay. I see Tommy Beth put in the chat that Ace would love to come in and talk to students about business opportunities and how to prepare to be an entrepreneur. Tommy Beth, we welcome that opportunity. The reason being is what a big part of our motto is financial literacy and entrepreneurial mindset programming. Right. And that came directly from the president here, right? Dewayne Johnson. He said, hey, look, you can't come into this community and not talk about ownership. And he's big on that. He said, you can't come into this community and not talk about entrepreneurship and generational wealth because that is what we champion. And so we took a page right out of his book and said, well, look, that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to find funders who we can co-grant right with and partner with to bring attention to the work that, the amazing work that, you all are doing. We thoroughly we truly believe in it. And we thank you because it's hard work, right? And no one knows the sacrifices of time and effort, and energy that you make to do all the things that you do, right? But we want to make sure that it gets recognized. But most importantly, we want to make sure that it gets funded. And so we would love the opportunity to partner with other organizations specifically, the Black Chamber, but organizations who are like, hey, we have something that we believe that we can, use to impact families and children, please make sure that you consider this. And we're more than happy to set up that time. We're more than happy. Any other questions or things that anyone wants to share? Okay. So I'll wrap up here. Again, I loved engaging and speaking with you guys today. We'll be in South Georgia on the 27th. I frequent often. I was there last week. I'll be there this week. And so if you're like, no, let's grab coffee, let's grab lunch. I pop up all the time. The 3 hour, 30-minute drive ain't nothing for me. I will hop on the road in a heartbeat just to sit down and have a meal with you and hear what you have to say, y'all. Guys, we're super excited about this. The only schools that were approved by the state last year were incubator fellows. And so I'm saying that not to say that we're going to get improved, but the likelihood of us getting approved because, we are through the state's program is highly likely, right? And so I'm very keen on making sure that no one says they didn't care about what we thought. They didn't ask us our opinion. Your feedback matters to us. And whatever it is that we can do to make sure that we're great partners to your businesses and to your families, we're willing to do just that. And so thank you guys so much for your time. And I'm looking forward to partnering with you.